Okay, let me officially welcome all of you to our business opportunity meeting that we do every Tuesday. It is June the 3rd, and we meet at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our business opportunity meeting. Thank you for coming. We appreciate all of you that are here taking a look at us for the first time, and we appreciate all the members that come to support our meetings by also being here and participating as well. So we just got done watching a series of videos. We had a short discussion on the difference between the way rich people think and the way that poor people think about money. And we've learned that if you think about money from a point of view that money should be working hard to make more money, you're thinking more like a rich person at that point. Yeah, can you get some agreement on that? Right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
and we just got done watching a video, a very short video, like less than 3 minutes, about how Michael Saylor from MicroStrategies has basically done this. He bought some Bitcoin. He then borrowed money using the Bitcoin as collateral. Okay, and he took the money that he borrowed and he bought more Bitcoin. Okay, and now he's got more Bitcoin. He then went and used that Bitcoin that he has as collateral to go get more money, and he used that loan in order to get more Bitcoin. And according to that video we just watched, he currently has over 400,000 Bitcoins, and each one's roughly about $100,000 per coin right now, making it tens of billions of dollars. Okay. But all started with the idea of money, working really hard to make more money, working really hard to make more money. And poor people don't look at it like that. Poor people go, I got to work hard so I can get money. You know what I'm saying? Rich people are like, it's better that I don't have to work at all because then my imperfections, my flaws would be in the way of how much money I get. So I'd rather have a system make me money, right? And I'm not part of the system. The true rich person looks at it that way. That they build something that works without them being present in the system itself. That's how you get to a point where you can start looking at the world like a Michael Saylor, MicroStrategies, but he's taken that idea over the last, I don't know how long it's been, like I think about 10 years, but he's taken that idea of buying Bitcoin, leveraging Bitcoin to get the ability to buy more Bitcoin and leveraging that to get more Bitcoin. And he's been doing on and on and on, and he's just been accumulating more and more Bitcoin. And Bitcoin, when he got started, it was less than, I think about less than $1,000 a coin when he got started. Okay. Then it ran up to 1,000 and it came down. Then it ran up to 20,000 and it came down. And then it ran up to 70,000 and it came down. And then it ran up to 112,000, its most recent high, which just happened a few days ago. Okay. And it's not showing any signs of coming down at this point, but it's looking like it's set up to go much higher. Okay. I expect it to go much higher, honestly. So strategy is working pretty well. Okay. How many of you would like to have $3,000 a month coming into you that you could take that $3,000 a month and have the same thing happen to you in creating your future wealth creation plan, make it work for you? What do you guys think about that?
Show me the way, bro. Show me the way.
That's it. And that's what we're doing. We're showing people the way, Garfield Money, and we're showing them that we can provide you that $3,000 in our $3,000 a month giveaway. So when you get started with us, we'll start you on the small giveaway, the 777, right? Giveaway. You bring us one person, and that leads you into the $3,000 a month giveaway. Okay. And then that, if you treat it properly, okay, that $3,000 that you get each month, okay, will accumulate, but it's not going to be static. It's actually appreciating in value. And later on, we'll give you opportunities where you could borrow against your coin and never have to sell your coin in order to actually pull value out of it. Okay. That's the whole plan. That's our business plan. That's my presentation. And now we can open it up for Q&A. So Hunter, how about a few thoughts from you?
Right, so I'm just going to do a bit of a rundown here. For anyone new, I just want to say that this is an excellent community to be a part of. We're all here to build each other up, not take each other down. I've been involved in pool funding for a little over a year now, and I must say that this is one of the best communities in the crypto community that I've been a part of in recent memory. And I've been around the crypto space for 13, going on 14 years now. So I've been around the block a few times. And it's just marvelous to take a look at it every day and see what it is we're doing, both in the group and with pool funding itself.
All right. Thank you for sharing that. I'm so proud of the community that we've already put together. And Hunter is spot on with what he's saying there. And including some very new people that I'm so excited to be working with. I hope you don't mind me calling you out, Raquel. Would you mind sharing your fresh perspectives about pool funding being so new to it?
Well, I'm still learning it, but I can't believe how easy your system is for one. And Sherry got me into this. I was kind of afraid to jump into it. So, but once I got the understanding of how simple this was and how it's going to affect my future by letting it build, once I got that understanding of it, I just told everybody that, I'm kind of close with it. I've been dabbling in things with and trying to get somewhere with and just getting people to jump on with me. And I've had a great experience with everybody that I've communicated with so far. I mean, Sherry and Paul are so awesome. They've helped me understand everything. And yeah, so now I've got 7 people under me and they've already got people signed up under them. And I feel like this is really going to blow what we've been doing out of the boat. I mean, there's nothing compared to this, what we've been doing as fast as it seems to be going. So, yeah,
Yeah, 7 people
I,
direct, and you've been involved about just maybe about a month or so right now, right? It's just a
yeah, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. Yeah.
okay, 5 or 6 weeks. You got 7 direct people.
Yep.
And so and then some of them have got people who also got people. Any idea, is your team 20 people, 30 people? How big is your team right now after just 5 or 6 weeks?
Right now, I want to say we're probably close to about 20 people almost
20, okay. Good deal.
together.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're still going. So, yeah.
Yeah, so if you
Got people lined up.
think about
So,
it, if you started with 1 and now you're 20, and we go another month out from now, and to go 20 times 20, you should have a team of 400, and you can kind of project it like that. And a team of 400 will make you a millionaire, by the way. No problem. It won't take more than that to be a millionaire in pool funding. The way that we're structured with our 4 pools and all that.
mhm.
So you're cash flowing already. You got some people that they're sending you 111 every day. You might be sending them back $100 every day, but you keep the 11, right?
Yes, I've got a couple of people that I'm doing that with now.
Uh-huh.
Yep, and then the other people are coming up in the next couple days, and they've already got people that are lined up, and we know we're gonna get them signed up. Like we in our group, we don't hope, we just do it. So, yeah,
And
just gotta
that's in
know you can.
that's in USDT, right? So you're keeping $11 a day in USDT from them, right?
Yes,
And then the
and
cool
then I
thing
send
about
them back.
those people is that if they've got one person below them, it's not $11 out of their pocket, is it? Because the person
No,
below them is covering the cost, right?
yep, they break even with the one person, and
That's
they get
it.
another person. Then that's where the cash flow starts coming in. So the more
That's
you
it.
get,
There
the
you
more
go.
you get.
It only takes 2 to cash flows. We're not talking about the pool funding coins there. We're talking about the cash flow side of the machinery here.
Yep.
And so
The cash flow every day.
don't discount the $11 people, because $11 times 365 days in a year is $4,015 a year. Okay. So how many of you that may have a job, and your boss said, "Hey, we're going to give you a $4,000 a year raise"? How many of you be happy with that, right? And that's just
Right.
having
Yeah.
one person, right? That's paying you $11 a
Right.
day. Imagine having 10 of those, then that'd be 40,000. Now that's where it starts, and then it builds up because we have the $1,000 pool. Once you move into the $1,000 pool, then you can go into millionaire status. You only need 4 people to be a millionaire in the $1,000 pool. But I'm going to save the training on the $1,000 pool for another time. Today, I just want you guys to realize that for so little, like, it doesn't take anything to get started, doesn't take a lot of time. You're going to receive on the front end. You're going to be accumulating pool funding coins, which are appreciating in value. Later on, those coins will be something you can be able to leverage, like with notes, okay? Leverage them. And then you won't even have to sell your coin, so that you can still enjoy the appreciation, right? It's the same thing when someone buys a residential property to rent out, right? The owner of that residential property enjoys all the appreciating value that happens on that property, and the renter is probably covering the mortgage, on that property, right? So that's the same way you want to look at having our pool funding coins is something you're going to hold for the long term, and it's just going to keep appreciating and going up in value. And the way that our coins are structured, they're meant to be worth a lot. And our strategy actually is mapped out for the next 100 years. Okay, so we have a long-term strategy here for our coin and our coin value, and it should just continue to go up for ongoing. Okay, so the slope of it going up is really high right now, but the slope will even out more over time. But the fact is, it will still be appreciating quite a bit. All right. So thank you, Raquel, for your input. I think people love hearing from new people like you, and you've been very, very successful, good start. And I think probably the reason that you've had so much success in your first month is because you didn't really hesitate in sharing the opportunity, right? And most people that are given an opportunity to build a team in different opportunities, like there's a million different things you could do to build a team, right? And most people they join something, but then they hesitate on starting to invite people and things like that. And we're hoping with the poster I showed you earlier, with the video that it leads to, those 2 tools will make it so that you won't hesitate. You won't hesitate to show people that, hey, we're not trying to get money out of you. We're not even trying to pull a lot of time out of your schedule. We just want your attention. Let me get your attention so we can actually show you a real deal. Okay, something that is here for the long run. And that's what people, I think, that's what they really want. They're looking for the real deal. Because let's face it, there's a lot of fool's gold out there, right? And people get fooled all the time by different things out there that they get excited about this opportunity or that opportunity, and then only like 6 months or whatever. Maybe some of them don't even last 6 months. A lot of them just fold up in 3 months. And it seemed all pretty exciting until it ended. One of the reasons you're going to know we're here for the long haul is that we're decentralized. Okay, where does the money go? Okay, the biggest problem you see with most opportunities out there is that they're centralized. All the money comes into one central location, and then that puts huge temptation on that central, the people involved in that central party, and we're just seeing too many people who get greedy and run off with the pot of gold, right? This just happens over and over and over again. But with pool funding, the money is completely decentralized. So the money is in your wallet. It stays in your wallet. So, we pay 100% commission. So basically, when your referral makes a payment, 100% of that payment that they make instantly goes from their wallet into your wallet, right? It doesn't pass through my wallet first, okay? It doesn't pass through a company wallet first. It's totally decentralized. So where's all the money? Well, the money is all, we have thousands of members, and the money is distributed in all those different thousands of wallets. That's where the money's at. And that makes us powerful. That makes us strong, right? There's no giant pot of gold to run off with. Does that make sense, guys?
Yes.
And that's why we're here for the
Yep.
long run. That's why, we've been here a year and a half already. Soon it will be 2 years. And that's a good sign. And anything that's been around that long is structured like this, you can pretty much think it, yeah, then that's going to be one of those things that everybody's going to know about in 5 years, and the whole world's going to know about it. And you're either in or not, and we're here for the long haul. Okay. We're here for the long haul. All right. Do we have anybody who would like to ask me a question? Happy to answer questions. If you have questions, whether you're a member or you're a new person, it's okay. I'm open to answering questions, because one of the things that we believe in is being transparent. That means you can ask the creator and founder anything. Okay. I'm here to answer your question.
Hello.
Hello, Mikyung.
Yeah, yeah. Call me Mickey. Everybody call me Mickey.
Miki. I think I believe I
Yeah,
remember you. Yeah.
yeah. You just mentioned that you are planning to start a loan program collateral to PF coins. When do you project to start having it?
We're about a year out from that, where I've got connections with people that are in private money, but I don't know if you ever heard of private money, but a lot of people that are into real estate, they go to private money lenders to get money to buy real estate. And I'm associated with some groups that are in that arena, and we're already making plans. So yeah. That's the beginning of it. But later on, it'll be banks, it'll be everything, so sky's the limit. You like that idea, Miki?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good.
I love the idea.
You love that
Yeah.
idea? That was a good
Yeah.
video that I found with MicroStrategies, right? That was a good one, huh? Makes you think.
Yeah, because then that way we don't have to ever sell the coins as long as we
Exactly.
have, yeah.
Yeah, just the wealth,
Then that
wealth
will
accumulation just grows on its own, right? It's like,
Yeah. And that way we keep the price of the coin steadily too.
Yeah, if people realize this on the front end when they get started, right? And that's kind of why I'm putting the message out here now, because we're talking to some new people that may be getting started with us. If we can just plant the seed now, don't look at pool funding coins as something that you juice, okay? Instead, that's how poor people look at it. Instead, look at it as like an orchard of apple trees that started with just one seed, okay? That's how you need to look at it. One apple seed can create an orchard. Am I right?
Yeah.
Just takes time. All right, Miki, good to hear from you.
Thank you.
And I believe you're a surgical tech. Am I right?
Yeah, I
remembering you?
actually I used to be surgical tech for 10 years, but recently I just doing a housekeeping because of stress and some health issues and stuff.
Oh, I can appreciate that.
Just recently.
And,
Yeah.
and are you over here in Asia, in Singapore, or where are you at?
No, I'm here in the USA, Montana,
You
but originally born and raised in Seoul, Korea, moved to States 30 years ago.
okay. I'm confusing a couple of stories together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay. Good deal. Well, it's not easy education to get into, to be a part of a team of, standing there next to a surgeon, so my hat's off to your intelligence and your, your tenacity to stick to something to get to the point you've done that. But yeah, I can only imagine the stress. I mean, I can't believe how the medical system pushes the personnel to the point where they're working crazy, like 24-hour shifts and things like that. That never made sense to me.
Yeah.
And it seems to me like
Yes.
just it creates undue stress. So I can appreciate that now. You'd rather leave the stress behind and do something.
So yeah, because I'm doing housekeeping, I listen to you while I'm cleaning, which I could never do if I'm doing surgery.
That's it. All right, very, very good. Well, I like your
Yeah.
avatar. I like your avatar here with the,
Yeah.
yeah, you got your, what do they call that? A hairnet or something like that?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Okay, good deal. Anybody else got a question for me while I'm here?
I'm sorry, one more time, one more thing.
It's okay.
When are you, yeah, can you update us about the update, please?
Which one?
Can you update us with the updates?
Which update are
I
you
think
looking
she's
for?
talking about the new
System
wallet
update.
system.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's not really a new wallet system per se, as much as it is a new way to connect to our website, right? So, let me just show you guys what it is. Let me share my screen. We're using this going in the future. And you can keep on using MetaMask, but I'm gonna, yeah, let's go into PancakeSwap. Here we go. Let me disconnect here. All right, so let me reconnect my wallet here. So we've got this one's the guarantee, that's fine. So I'm going to click, watch what I do now, okay? I'm going to click connect. And then there's this thing here that says connect wallet. And connect wallet is part of Wallet Connect, okay? So in the future, new people will be able to register by just clicking one button to, like, basically, use their Google account or their Facebook account as a way to become a member. So one click to join. And then to connect the wallet, something like this will come up. And if you've already got a MetaMask, you select it. But if you don't have a MetaMask, you'll be given this Wallet Connect wallet automatically. And you won't even have to download anything. So that's coming soon. I just don't think the current members are ready for the change, and I don't want to create a lot of chaos. So we're later this month, in the month of June, we're gonna switch over. But I want people to be prepared for how this new connection will work. So you don't have to go get a new wallet or anything like that. If you're already an existing member, you'll just have a different way of connecting to our website than what you're used to. And plus, we're going to start taking your picture every time you go to do the transactions. We want to attach a picture to every transaction, because some people thought that they could have more than one account, and that's unfair to the rest of the members. Okay, so in order to basically make sure that doesn't keep on happening, we're just going to have everybody understand that in order to use our system, we are going to be taking a picture every time you do a transaction. So just like an ATM, you walk up to the ATM, it takes your picture, whether you realize it or not, it's taking your picture. And so, but of course, with the internet, you'd have to authorize it. You just got to say yes, so it's not going to be taking a secret picture. You'll know when it's taking a picture, right? So smile for the camera when that happens. And that way people will understand that if they do anything wrong, we know who they are. And if we don't want them to be a part of the community anymore, if they're trying to do wrong things in the community, we know who to look out for, because we know we've identified who they are. We don't need your government ID. We don't need any of that kind of stuff. Just a face, and that's enough, right? The way things are going in this world, I don't even know why we need IDs. This right here is unique, so we all have one face. It's not that hard to sort out. All right.
I'm sorry, one more question.
Sure.
Okay. The more I think about the pool funding, I get so fascinated because it's a system of no one loses and everyone wins. And it's just so fascinating. Was there any moment for you to create such a program, or is there any like sparkling moment, or can you tell us how you came up with this?
Well,
This is actually
I,
very so
I,
good.
I,
I mean, no one loses.
yeah,
So
that's the
that's why
idea.
people are kind of, yeah.
That is the idea. And the thing is, when you understand the true nature of money, it's the one thing that on the planet there is like an infinite number, an infinite amount. Like it's like it's the only resource that is unlimited on Earth. Because money can be just, you keep creating it out of thin air, right? So, so they've been doing that for a long time. We all know that money's just created out of thin air. So why is there poverty? Why is there all this fighting going on in the world? Why is there so much criminal activity? Why all these things that we don't like about the place where we live? Okay. Why is it all happening? And it all comes back to money. Well, it's because certain people have an idea about not money, but how to control people. So this is their game plan of these same people. They've been kind of running things behind the scenes for a long time. Okay. And even if you look into your Bible, and you'll see certain things. What I'm about to tell you should start to resonate if you're even familiar with things that are so-called prophesied. You know what I'm saying? But the idea is to centralize all transactions into one system, that there's only one authority. Okay. And then control every man, woman, and child, from a single system. Okay. Now, our world today doesn't quite work like that. We have different nation states and blah, blah, blah. So there's all sorts of, so-called authorities at different levels. But in the end, the next 5 years are going to matter a lot, because humanity is at a turning point right now. The artificial intelligence and the robotic industries are taking over all the jobs. Okay. And that'd be jobs even in the surgery. Okay. There's going to be there's going to be quite a bit of AI and robotics involved in surgery in hospitals and things like that. It's going to be very normal going forward. And believe it or not, if I think we would call it a Roomba. So there was already robots that'll sweep your floor for you, right? So eventually housekeeping and everything. See, the thing is, between AI and robotics, the idea of mankind working for money becomes obsolete. Okay, because the technology can do all the work. Knowing that, and I've been kind of a student of these things, and I've been kind of looking out for it, that I know that they're going to come up with a solution, and the solution they're going to come up with is called universal basic income. Have you ever heard of that, Miki?
Yes.
So I already knew that. So the spark that started all this is I wanted to create an alternative to universal basic income, because I see that as a trap, right?
Hmm.
'Cause I don't know about you, but when it comes to someone figuring out how much I deserve to receive, I don't want that to be someone in the government. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Yes.
Right?
Okay.
How much are you going to get? Oh, only $1,000. What am I going to do with $1,000? How do you make it on that?
Mhm.
And so basically, you don't have to Google too long to get down to the details of what the plan is out there already. And it won't take long, a couple more years, and they're going to be pushing the idea of a UBI. Okay, by the time we get to 2030,
Mm.
if something isn't presented as a strong alternative to UBI, that's where the world's going. UBI. And it won't
Mhm.
matter if you're a doctor, or if you're a lawyer, or if you're a whatever, or mechanic, or an engineer. It won't really matter what you might have chosen as a profession beforehand. As the AI and robots come and take over all those jobs that I just mentioned, and everything else, the plumber, the electrician, okay, everything that comes in and does that, then people need to see that a market-based system like pool funding, where we're leaning on the market in order to create a lot of wonderful things, that's how every, wonderful thing has happened in the last, you know, thousands of years. It's always been the market. The market has been what made economies happen. They're trying to change that. They just want it to be, they create the money and then they give you a little piece. That's their idea. Okay. And so it's going to be very destructive to all sorts of things that they get away with it. Okay. And especially, humans. And then ultimately, they want to insert technology into the human body. That's the plan. And I'd rather be dead. So I draw the line there. I'm not interested in having the technology inserted into the body, because again, you can reference stuff out of the Bible. People have different books they go by. That's a pretty popular one, and based on what it says there, no rest day or night, I don't know about you, but I like my rest. Do you guys like your rest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine a technology in you that never lets you feel like you ever got any rest ever. Just 24/7, no rest. Okay. Think about it. That's bad enough. Not to mention the other stuff that goes into, but yeah. So that's the spark, Miki. What do you think about that spark? And so basically I've taken
Awesome.
the same play, they create money out of thin air. Okay. One day I woke up and I decided I was going to create some pool funding coins. Okay. I've created millions of them, right? Where'd they come from? Same place, thin air, right?
Wow.
Right? Think about it. I'm just doing what
That's
they're
awesome.
doing, but I'm doing it for
Huh.
for mankind. Okay. They're doing it to take
Wow.
advantage of mankind. Okay.
Mhm.
So there's the spark. All right.
Thank you.
What do you guys think about that? Did I tell you too much? Is that too much information?
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, I've been inspired by this for a long time, you know. Yeah. All I know is what people are after is they want to be happy. You know, you don't have to be rich, you don't have to be anything to be happy. That just depends on each person, what matters to them. So anything that kind of violates someone's pursuit to be happy, I got a problem with that because I'm at the top of the list. I'll share a personal story with you guys. How about that? I'm going to go back in
Please do.
Yep.
I'm going to go
Go
way
ahead.
back. I'm going to
Go.
go back in time here. I'm going to go back to when I was in high school. Okay. So back when I was in high school, this was me and this was my father. Okay. Okay. We were button heads. So my father comes to me something like 3 or 4 months before I'm about to graduate high school, right? And he says, "Okay, son, now that you're going to be officially an adult when you're 18 and all that, and you'll be graduating from high school and all that." So I'd already been turned, 18 by that point. He says, once you graduate, you need to start paying rent to stay in the room that you've been staying in for, so many years already, right? So my dad wanted to charge me rent. He wanted to charge me $300 a month for me to stay in the room that I was living in for free before that, right? So being the knucklehead that I was, you know, and I just thought he was being mean, to be honest with you. That was my perspective back then. Now I see the wisdom of it all now later on, So I love and appreciate my dad, who's about 95 years old today, by the way, still walking around just fine.
Wow.
Anyway, so yeah, I got a picture of him here. Share my screen. All right, there he is. This is me and my dad. I brought him out to the Philippines here. So that was when he was here in the Philippines with me, back when he was 89 in that picture. Okay. Now he's 95.
That's good.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there we go. Well, that's back then. So we get along great now. But anyway, back when I was in high school, so I got to start paying rent. So I got talking to my brother who was in California, and I said, "Hey, I'd like to go to California, and he was in the Navy, right? So, sure. What are you gonna do when you get here?" It's like, yeah, I just need to get my life started. And he's like, well, the Navy's done good for me. Maybe you could look into that. Could you imagine if I'm butting heads with my dad, but I would have been in the military? Oh my God. Anyway, so but yeah, so it kind of started out that way. And so I'm living with my brother. What happened is I bought an airplane ticket one way to California, and I didn't tell my parents about it until the day before I was going to leave. So graduated high school. So right after I graduated, I announced to them, "Oh, I got an airplane ticket tomorrow. I'm going to California." You know, and they didn't seem too sad. So, but I didn't have to pay rent. Okay. So I went to California and did talk to a couple of recruiters and things like that for the military. And then also my brother tried to get me jobs. At one point I was out on the Air Force. I was cleaning airplanes. It was crazy, man. Standing on top of an airplane, scrubbing it. I did a lot of crazy stuff at that time, because my brother would help me try and find things. But you know where I landed? That ended up being, working out pretty good. After all of that, and my brother could only work with me for about 2 months. After a month, he says, "You get one more month, and that's it. You're out of here." So where I landed was a job at Taco Bell. Okay, so I got a job at Taco Bell. How about that? Right? All I can tell you is never go to Taco Bell if there's been a power outage. Okay, it's a little clue. Okay. So I'm working at Taco Bell, and then I find my own place, right? I'm renting a room, and after a couple of months, I start to get this confidence I never had before. Okay, because up until that time, I think I was kind of an entitled mindset. I'm entitled, and I had more of an entitlement mindset. And here was, I wasn't rich working at Taco Bell, but I was 19 years old. I was making it on my own. I wasn't getting any money from mom or dad or my brother or anyone else. I was totally making it. Yeah, I rode a skateboard to and from work. Okay. But that's how I started out. And so I started to think, oh my God, I did it. I'm on my own. I'm taking care of me, right? Because when I first started this whole thing, it was just a leap of faith. Okay. And then I had this aha moment. Oh my goodness, if I can do this, I could do anything. And I said, if I can do anything, I can have anything. I could be anything. I started to believe in myself. Okay. It wasn't until I was completely on my own, taking care of myself, that I woke up to a belief in myself that I'd never had before and a newfound confidence. And I thought to myself, okay, wait a minute. I can't have it all. That was my thinking back at 19. I can't have it all. But if I could just isolate one thing and just spend my life on that one thing and go get that one thing, then that should be good enough. And so what's the one thing going to be? And of course, I'm thinking girls and, I'm 19, come on. I'm thinking fame. I'm thinking getting rich. In my mind, I'm putting together a list and I'm going over this list and I'm reviewing the list. I'm looking at everything. Then it occurred to me one day that as I was going through the list, I started to look at it and I'm like, wait a minute, I think I'm missing something here. Because I had a long list. I had plenty of, I want this big house. I want this nice car. I had all the stuff on the list. But the one thing that wasn't there yet was one little word, happiness. And it was so weird. And in my mind, I could still see it today. I put happiness on the bottom of that list, and then it just like Star Wars, it got real big, like I couldn't see any other word except for the word happiness. All the other words that I'd written on that list were behind it. And I realized at that point how valuable happiness was. And so that's it. That's my target. That's what I'm after. That's what I'm going to dedicate my life to. I'm going to be happy. I want to be happy. Up until that point, I could cry on anybody's shoulder and tell them why I wasn't happy before that, but I figured, I've had happy moments, but I just like to be happy all the time. So that's what became important to me, was learning how to be happy. And yeah, what I did find out is you can have it all, right? You can be happy and you can be rich and whatever, you know what I'm saying? You can't have it all if you just try to just, there's a path. You can get as little or as much as you want. You're the one that kind of determines that. But I didn't know that at 19. I figured if I could just get one thing, it'd be good enough, And I figured being happy was what it was all about. So yes, I dedicated a good part of my life on just a singular mission to be happy. And now I've discovered this thing called unconditional happiness. It's kind of where I'm basically at now in my life. Is that it doesn't matter what conditions are happening around me. I'm happy regardless, I don't know if you guys can tell, but that's it. Up or down, backwards or forwards, just be happy, because that is the main thing. And the problem is when you have a system, an ugly system that's kind of coming in there to take that away, yeah, I got a problem with that. And that's my inspiration for pool funding. So that was a long story. I hope you guys, did I bore anybody with that story, or did the story?
No, very interesting.
No, that
That
was
was
a good
great.
story.
That was great.
Yeah, that's the truth of it.
That was a good story.
true
That was a
story.
good story, bro.
True story. True story. Yeah. So I've done a little bit better than Taco Bell. But hey, everybody's got to have a start. And the thing is, if I had been born with a silver spoon, would I be the same person you see in front of you today? Right?
No way.
If my dad would have been nicer to me, like that, the way I thought he should have been, would I have been the same person I am today? So I respect my dad for what he chose to do. He had the right to do it.
Teach you tough love. You teach you tough love, buddy.
Out of the five of us, my folks, my parents had 5 children. I'm number 4. I don't think I was planned. There's a 9-year gap between me and the next oldest one, right? So I'm number 4. So surprise, surprise, here I am, I don't think I was. I think I was the hardest one,
That month that you were conceived, the TV was broken.
Yeah, that's right. Well, they've got they gave me a brother. They did that on purpose. My little brother Troy, so he's 2 years younger than me, but he was planned because they didn't want me running around all by myself. So and I want to thank this lady here. I'll go ahead and publicly acknowledge her. Share my screen. This is my sister here. That's what she looks like today. She's in Texas. And when my mom was at work, she was taking care of me. Was I sharing my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, she took care of me. So, she was just a teenager at the time. But yeah, I spent a lot of time with her growing up, and some of my fondest memories are, with her and all that. And she's had a hard life. She's been through 100 surgeries in her lifetime. Started with cataracts in the eyes, and then it was all over her back. And she's been, to me, anybody who can tolerate going through that much surgery in a lifetime, they're a superhero in my book, So, but she's done her best to be a good person and be there. And And I'm just surprised that she's still here after all that she's been through. Most people I think would have checked out. Would be like, "You're getting out of here." But she's hanging in there, and she's close to her son, who's also in Texas, my nephew, and yeah, what a life, what a life. But I do love and appreciate family, and I think that's a important part of happiness. But again, when you have unconditional happiness, you don't have to all be getting along in order for you to be happy. You can still be happy in spite of the whatever the problems might come up, issues, things like that. They come and go. So, but at the end of the day, I look at humanity as just one large family, and I try to show brotherly love to all of you. So I look at you like that, Some of you I get mad at, and some of you guys do some stuff I don't like, but doesn't change the fact that my love is there for humanity, and I want to do something while I'm here that's going to have a positive impact. And I believe it. I've been given certain gifts, and I'm using them to the best of my ability to make the world better than one that I came into. And I don't consider myself to be anything more special than that. Just a guy with some good intentions and is working on it every day. That's who I am. So that's it.
Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Well, this got really personal. So anyway, I don't normally go
Ace, I think you should write a book, bro.
What's that?
I think you should write a book about the life of Ace.
Yeah.
Ace
Yeah.
Fletcher.
Yeah. I tell you, I've been invited to do that a number of times. But unlike Karen, who's here with us today, I'm not good at writing a book. I'm good at writing, but to me, the dedication it takes to do a book. Although, maybe I'll just tell AI my whole story and then have AI write my book. It might be much easier than I think.
There you go.
AI,
Use
pay
ChatGPT.
attention. Here's I'm going to tell you my life story, and then you can be a little bit creative with it. You never know. But yeah, no, the thing is at some point you figure out that there's a huge value on humility, right? Because I've had my moments of pride, and pretty much some of the most sour moments of my life have been where I've been prideful, so I avoid pride like the plague. I try not to get too prideful about anything, because it usually sours out in a way that leaves a mark, it leaves scars. So if you want to be happy, let go of pride. Pride got to go. Can't be proud and happy. That's what I found out. All right. Okay, guys. Well, good meeting. For those of you that are new, I'm for real. I'm not hiding behind anything. I created Pool Funding. I'm the creator, the founder. I'm inviting you to be a co-founder with us. We're looking for 10,000 co-founders, and we're for real. And what I'm putting out there is coming back to me. Look at the people in the group here today, on the meeting today. Look at who they are and see that what I'm putting out is coming back. And look at the representation here. These are some awesome people, full of heart, people that care for one another, and they show it every single day. And I really put my hat off to all of you for showing up, being there, supporting, demonstrating everything I believe mankind can be is showing up in this group. And we just want to spread that and just like a big blob, gobble up the whole world with the idea of, we're all in this together, right? All for one and one for all. Humanity, here we go. Let's eventually the parasites, they're gonna fall off. Okay. The system of parasites is just we're gonna shed it. And underneath it, after that happens, the humanity that will uprise, leading into a golden age. I believe we are going into a positive direction here. Okay, I do believe that. I don't think we're very far off from a very positive thing, but it ain't going to happen without some effort. Okay. And together, the effort's a lot less if we all can just pitch in a little bit. Okay. The effort for the individual is a lot less if a whole bunch of us are pitching in a little bit each. And then that's how we make this a better world together. We can do more together than we can alone. Okay. And pool funding is an invitation to come change the world and pitch in your ideas, what you think is a better world. We're here to listen too. Okay. We want to know what you think a better world looks like. You know, everybody's voice matters to me. And I hope it matters to all of you, that we all get to listen to each other, and, you know, the good ideas are going to work their way to the top. The ones that are not so good, they go off to the side. You know, that's just normal. Okay. But we want to give everybody a chance to have a voice and be able to share it. And that's why I want to recognize all of you as co-founders, right? That's a big title. You know, that's a big deal. That means I have respect for you. Right? The kind of respect I'm showing you, I hope you'll always show back to me, because that's what I like to see, you know, mutual respect, you know. There you go. I guess we're good. How about we'll just end by saying something like, it's all about love and respect. How about that? Right? Love and respect. That's
Love
it.
it.
It's all about love and
About
respect.
love and
Love and
respect.
respect.
All about love and respect.